Our next guest is a filmmaker, activist, and former U.S. ambassador. This is her new book. It's called Think You'll Be Happy, Moving Through Grief with Grit, Grace, and Gratitude. It comes out October 17th. Please welcome Nicole Avant. Very good to see you.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you here. Now, we're going to start with a tough subject. You lost your father this year.
I did.
You lost your mother, was murdered 2 years ago, almost
2 years.
Here in Los Angeles. And while you were grieving, you wrote this book, which is based on something your mother texted you.
Yes. Her last text to me was, think you'll be happy. We were talking about a sweet potato pie that she took home by accident for Thanksgiving, and I said, Mom, I'll get the pie tomorrow. I'll get the pie tomorrow. And she said, okay, think you'll be happy. And then I never heard from her again, never saw her again. That was it.
Did you recognize that this sentence would have a double meaning at that time?
I didn't. I really didn't.
Maybe a triple meaning even?
I was already working on Grit, Gratitude, and Grace, and I wanted to write that. And then when this tragedy happened, I thought, okay, well, I need a book on this because I don't know what to do. I don't know anybody who's had their mother murdered. I don't know. And so then all of a sudden it was like, wait, think you'll be happy. That is the mantra that my mom wants me to live by. Think you'll be happy.
Because if you think you'll be happy, you will be happy.
You will be happy.
And it makes sense.
Yeah, she was a big believer in you create your environment with whatever you say and whatever you think about constantly. That's going to be your life.
When I'm reading this book and I'm reading about the things your mom and your dad said to you, which are like incredible quotes and so smart, it makes me, I can't even believe it because I think my parents never said anything like this at all. I mean, my dad would close your mouth while you're reading every once in a while. And that was like as close to it as we got. But well, first of all, your dad, who people have seen the documentary Black Godfather, was this incredible guy who helped so many famous people with their careers. Who are some of the names of some of the people that?
I mean, he signed Bill Withers. He worked with Muhammad Ali and Jim Brown and Hank Aaron and Whitney Houston and Don Cornelius. I mean, it goes on and
These
on.
people
Ted Kennedy. They just
come to your house when you were a kid.
All the time.
All the time. And did that seem normal to you?
It did when I was growing up because I just didn't know. I didn't know they were famous until my friends' parents would drop my friends off and they're, is that Harry Belafonte leaving here? Yes. How do you know Harry? You know, I didn't know. I didn't, and they didn't act like famous people. They were always talking about moving society forward, moving, helping people through an open door, and that they were always talking business and making something out of their lives, using their fame for good.
Muhammad Ali was somebody who hung out at your house.
Yeah.
And he would do magic tricks for you.
All the time. Yeah, he was great.
Would he have the boxing gloves on while he was doing the magic tricks? Or
No, but he loved doing this thing where he'd find a coin, it would be behind my ear, and he'd make all these noises. He was just great. He was funny and smart and very, very wise.
Yeah, the greatest. He really was the greatest. And you gathered that from him even at, I assume you were a kid when he was around.
Yes.
Yeah, because I never even really talked to any of my parents' friends either. It just was like, every once in a while you get accused of stealing something out of their coats that were on the bed, but that was about as close as you got. You
should have hung out at my house.
This is a great picture here. Speaking of, it's not from your house, but this is backstage. Wow. When did this happen?
That was 1988, and we were in France.
Your dad, your mom.
My mom, my dad, my
brother
Alex.
And then Michael Jackson.
And Michael Jackson.
Your dad promoted his tour.
He promoted
reluctantly,
tour.
Right?
Yeah.
That's why was he reluctant to promote Michael Jackson's tour?
He didn't really know anything about promotions, so he didn't think. But Michael said, "You're going to be the perfect person. I want you in charge, and we're going to travel. We'll go. We're just going to do a world tour." And then it was my mom who convinced my dad, "This is great. This is great for the kids. This is great for all of us. We're going to travel as a family." And And we did, and we got to be with one of the greatest.
And would you hang around with Michael Jackson?
Yeah. Backstage, yeah, but I would watch him rehearse.
You'd watch him rehearse,
I would watch him rehearse. I would get up early and watch him rehearse, which was, you know, that was a show in itself.
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
Then years go by and you become President Obama makes you ambassador to the Bahamas.
Yes.
Did you have any, do you have to train to be an ambassador or you just show up?
They give you training. No, they give you training. You go to Washington and they give you a class, and depending on which country you're going to, they...
Were you in a class with other ambassadors?
Yes. Yeah.
Really? There's an ambassador class?
Oh, there's an ambassador class, yeah.
And is there a grade at the end? Like, can you fail ambassador class?
Not really. I mean, some people can be excused from the class, I would say, yes. But for the most part, they were all really great.
When's the last time you were at the White House?
The last time I was at the White House was just last year, last December. It would have been the first anniversary of my mom's death. And I dreaded that day. I was December 1st, and I'm thinking, oh my God, this is going to be the worst day of my life forever. And then my husband, Ted, came home and said, you'll never believe this. We got invited to a state dinner, and it's with your favorite person. I go, who? He goes, President Macron. I said, oh. And he said,
he's your favorite,
he's my favorite. And then he said, but really, guess what the date is? You're not going to believe this. And he said, it's December 1st. How do you feel? And I go, we're going. My mom would want me to go, and my mom would want me to enjoy myself, and so we went.
And you met the president of France?
Yes, I did.
Yes. And did you gush over him?
A little bit, Jimmy, yes. You read the book.
What did you...
See, the setup.
Because you've met everybody. I would think that wouldn't even be a big deal to you.
I don't freak out over most people. Whitney Houston, Michael Jordan, and Sting were the ones that I would just crumble. I just would stop talking. And then Macron just became one of those people, but I didn't know that until I got to the White House, and I was in the receiving line, and I know how to be ambassadorial, and I know how to stand properly.
You learned it in class.
And, and then I kept saying to Ted, I said, do I say you're a wonderful world leader, or do I say you're one of the best presidents that France has ever had? And he goes, whatever you do, be calm, cool, and collected. I said, of course I would. Hello, it's me. Of course, I know how to do this. And then I walked up, and President Biden is looking at me, and he was the first one in the receiving line, and I say hello, and in the corner of my eye, the president of France is staring, and I turned, and I looked right at him, and I lost all composure, and I said, oh, you should be the president of the entire world.
How far away?
No, it was bad. No, it was really bad.
How far were you from President Biden at this moment?
This far. And he looked at me as if I was a train wreck. And the wives looked at me like, well, I was trying to shake their hand. They're like, no, thank you. And the Secret Service is like, ambassador down.
So suffice it to say, you will not be getting another ambassadorship.
No, we're never going back. No, I want to be an ambassador, yes, but to the White House, I don't know if I'm going to be invited back.
Well, maybe you'll get France, you know?
Wouldn't that be great?
Maybe you'll be the French ambassador to the United States, you know? Well, this is the book. It is called Think You'll Be Happy, Moving Through Grief with Grit, Grace, and Gratitude. It comes out October 17th. Nicole Avant, everybody. Thank you, Nicole. Be back with Boy With You.